Horror movies have been around for centuries, literally. The creation of thrillers began as soon as films were becoming possible in 1896 and on through the 1900s. I'm going to be taking a deeper dive into horror films and their popularity while taking a closer look at the production, scripting, casting, and directing of these popular works. Let's begin with the basics. Statistics. I did a quick poll to see where the median was, so the results said that 76% of people that answered loved horror films, and the other 24% said they hated them. The outstanding Get Out. This horror dives deeper into the psychological side and modern-day issues of horror films, making its presentation even stronger. It still has a good amount of your classic horror basics with murder, mind games, hypnosis, the whole deal. This film's $4.5 million budget grossed a whopping $255.4 million. Since its release just recently in 2017, there's been social media activity from fans with love for the movie consistently. Looking into the numbers, viewers really love a good scare, a little bit of murder, and a touch of insanity. But what seems to be even better is when the movies reach really deep into raw psychological drama.
So how long has this been going on, this thing?
Get Out was so well crafted in the psychological department and used real-world problems to transform just another horror film into a masterpiece of thrill, scare, and struggle.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Peele seems to be a very deep person in general. With some of the interviews that I've read through with multiple people from multiple different magazines, he's kind of nerdy, and that's a good thing because that provides, structure and creativity in films and movies. So I think that's definitely an aspect of, a writer and director for films. Are they creative and, what aspects of their own life or the life around them do they put into the movie? And he even mentioned that it's very clear that he's involved some of, his own personal life experiences and problems and difficulties that he's had. Let's talk more about casting. The star, Daniel Kaluuya, he is 32 years old and he has worked on a lot of big names just besides Get Out. He worked on Black Panther, Judas and the Black Messiah, and a long list of short films and miniseries. He was nominated for a ton of awards at a young age, and he already has an Academy Award for Best Actor and many others. He was given the lead by Jordan Peele after he nailed his audition on the spot. Jordan Peele said that Kaluuya did about 5 takes of a key scene in which his character needs to cry, and each was so perfect that the single tear came down at the exact time for each take. Peele told him that he had the role right then, but Kaluuya later joked that he was wary of the people in Hollywood and he didn't quite believe it yet. Diving into more behind the scenes, editor Gregory Plotkin said that he grew up loving horror. What he found with horror is, and he thinks it's much like comedy, is all about timing. He says, "I like to subvert expectations, especially with Get Out. The performances were so great, the settings were so great, and Jordan and I sort of bonded on that. As soon as the audience saw something, they would say, 'Oh God, something's happening.' So I made sure to cut to that angle once, potentially twice before that, just to set up, here's where the danger could come from. But I'm not going to hit you with the danger just yet."
Back all bougie, man.
Come back, get your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
Cinematographer Toby Oliver was asked, "When we arrive at the Armitage estate, it's a beautiful summery day. Why didn't you decide against the usual foreboding of a house of horrors?" He says, "That was really deliberate. We really wanted Chris's world and the city to feel really natural and real when they arrived at Rose's estate. It would be very warm, a golden glow to the outside and also inside of the house. It would feel very inviting and welcoming.
Call me Dean and you're hungry, my man.
Underneath, something very weird and strange is going on, which Chris slowly starts realizing.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
The color and the light lull the audience into a false sense of security. During the night scene, he had some special gels that he put up on the lights when they were lighting the estate on the outside. He said, "We use cyans and greens to give the light a slightly unusual texture and tone, and then it's just finding the right places to put the light from there."
He died. I couldn't bear to let him go.
In Get Out, just highlighting that movie, covering all of the horror genre, it was so well put together because every single thing behind the scenes up until post-production and in post-production was so well done, so it was really well received because the director made sure and took time to put personal aspects into something that probably wouldn't happen in everyday life to make it more realistic. The actors were super well cast, and there was time and effort into looking into those things. And the editors and cinematographers and artists, behind the scenes that were filming, and being creative in how this movie was supposed to look, just all came together and each one complemented each other. In my opinion, production is all where the magic happens because you can have an amazing cast or you can have a mediocre cast, but you can still make a great movie out of it with the way that you choose to edit it. Being behind the scenes a lot and working on editing films, you work with a lot of different types of materials. But if you have a really solid set and people with creativity that are willing to put in the work to create, something out of nothing, just like Oliver said with the gels on the lights, that's really unique. You might not see that in all kinds of sets. So having, a unique set and people that are willing to put in the work and be creative to create an amazing product, it almost sometimes doesn't matter what kind of cast you have because you can still make something great that will really work and impact people with it. So, looking back at the stats, horror movies have always been popular. People love a good scare and some psychological drama with a little bit of murder added in. With booming success recently through films like Get Out and other loved horrors, the genre is really refining itself. Answering the question, why do people like horror movies so much? That can be brought down to the baseline that people love a thrill of adrenaline and to see something you may not see every day. For the better. It varies by person why these movies are so loved, but the scare stays with people when there's a well-crafted script followed by actors, directors, and editors that put in the work with creative visions, real-life experience integrations, and intuitive solutions. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey, and I will see you next time.